Right, students. So we have done, we were doing the life skills, page number 64. We have started with it and we have done 4 life skills: assertiveness, time management, rational thinking, and improving relationships. These 4 we have done. Now I'm starting the next one, that is self-care. Now, what does this mean? As it is very general, but still you have to write something relevant in this. So in self-care, when we care about ourselves. And how can we care? By keeping us emotionally and biologically healthy, right? So 1 to 2 things you can write under this, that breathing patterns reflect our state of mind and emotions. This is something new. It is not very general. You can write that our breathing patterns, whether we breathe very fast, whether we breathe very slow, or average speed, it is reflecting our state of mind and emotions. You must have realized that whenever we are under stressful condition or any new condition or any anxious condition, the breathing pattern start at a little bit higher speed as compared to the normal pace, right? So in the same way, there are different breathing patterns according to different emotions and different state of mind. When we are stressed or anxious, we tend towards rapid and shallow breathing from high in the chest with frequent sighs, right? The most relaxed breathing is slow, stomach-centered breathing from the diaphragm, that is a dome-like muscle between the chest and abdominal cavity. Just observe any infant. If you have observed any infant, how do they breathe? This is the right pattern. Their breathing is very slow and it is stomach centered. If you have seen some infant, they always breathe very slow and stomach centered. Their stomach does quite a good activity as compared to other organs. So this is the right pattern of breathing. We should always practice this in spite of taking fast breathing. Environmental stresses like noise, pollution, space, light, color, etc. can also exert an influence on our mood. This is very general, right? So about the breathing pattern and what is the correct procedure to breathe, and little bit general information you can give under this self-care. Now come upon the next one, overcoming unhelpful habits. Now when we talk about unhelpful habits, so these are certain harmful habits which are doing some harm to our body and mind. Now what they are saying, that we should overcome it. We should avoid it, and we should always go for positive habits, right? So what are those unhelpful habits? First of all, they have given certain example. The first one is perfectionism. Now you will ask, perfectionism, how come unhelpful? See, perfectionism is a habit which generates lot of stress inside a person. To be perfect in everything every time is not possible. Yes. So if a individual is very much obsessed about perfectionism, whether it is related to cleanliness, whether it is related to their studies, whether it is related to their relationship, so it is causing lot of anxiety, stress, and eventually it is harming his body and mind. So unhelpful habits, what are the examples? Perfectionism, avoidance. Avoidance simply means that we avoid certain things. We do not want to do, or we escape from it. Suppose you are fearful of certain individual in your society, right? You are avoiding him or her for a certain period of time, but this will what increases the problem sometimes. It is good to avoid when it is not affecting you. But if a person is affecting you, he is influencing you in any way, and then also you are avoiding, then what happens? The problem will become much bigger. So to avoid certain things, it is also an unhelpful habit. Procrastination. Now, this is a new term for you people. Some of you might know the meaning also. Procrastination का क्या मतलब होता है? In Hindi, if I say टालना, yes, टालने की प्रवृत्ति is known as procrastination. Whenever we feel like that, yes, today we have to complete this target, but due to any reason which is not very severe, we procrastinate it for tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So that is a very unhelpful habit, procrastination. So you will give examples of certain unhelpful habits. Now they are more likely to feel tense and find it difficult to relax, and are critical of self and others, and may become inclined to avoid challenges. Now these will be the symptoms of the person who are practicing these unhelpful habits. Avoidance is to put the issue under the carpet and refuse to accept or face it. As I explained, person start refusing it, start escaping from it, and do not want to face it. But this will not provide you the solution. Later on, you have to face it, and that time the problem will become much bigger. Procrastination, I explained you that I will do it later. Let's postpone it, you can say. Yes. So people who procrastinate are deliberately avoiding confronting their fears of failure or rejection. Now, what is the reason behind avoidance or procrastination? The simple reason, the simple consequence, people start thinking that there will be a failure. I have to confront a failure or rejection by the concerned person. So just to avoid the fear of failure and rejection, we used to procrastinate, or we used to avoid or escape from the challenging situations. These are what unhelpful habits. We are given: major, perfectionism, avoidance, and procrastination. This is how you're going to explain this. Now, various factors have been identified which facilitate the development of positive health. Now, new term is there under the same topic, overcoming unhelpful habits. They have given you the example. Now they will teach you how to overcome them, how to solve it, how to empower it. So the way another term is positive health. Now, what is positive health? If a 1-mark question comes, health is a state of complete physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Very important definition. We all have this impression that we are healthy only when we are not having any disease. But that does not mean only the meaning of health. Health is including other aspects also. And what are those? Physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being. These all are playing very important role in making you healthy. And yes, absence of disease or infirmity obviously signifies that you are healthy. Now, positive health comprises the following constructs: a healthy body, high quality of personal relationships, a sense of purpose in life, self-regard, mastery of life's tasks, and resilience to stress, trauma, and change. Quite good factors are given. You can also identify and put a tick mark on these, how many characteristics you people are having. To become healthy, what is the foremost or the primary thing? A healthy body should be there, right? Biologically, physiologically wise, you should be healthy. Then you should have cordial and positive and pleasant relationships. Third, always a goal, a purpose, a direction should be there in your life. Self-regard, you should regard yourself. Self-respect, self-esteem, all comes under this. Mastery of life's tasks. Various tasks you are performing, yes, and mastery over them, or to have skillfully handling, it all comprises of mastering of life's tasks. And resilience to stress, trauma, and change. See, as we have discussed, that change will always be there, stress is there, sometimes traumas also are there. We can experience it at any time, we do not know. Yes, so resilience means a very new term, a very important term nowadays. It is using, we people are using it very much. Psychological people are using this word nowadays quite a lot. What do you mean by resilience? Other factors are very simple. You can write it on your own. Now come on the box 3.3, page number 65, the same page. Just start focusing on box 3.3. They are explaining this term all individually in detail. What do you mean by resilience and how it is connected to your health? See, resilience, if I define it, it is a dynamic developmental process referring to the maintenance of positive adjustment under challenging life conditions. What are the key terms? If I define resilience, what does it mean? That it is dynamic. It keeps on changing. Developmental process, what does it mean? It goes on and on as we are developing throughout our lifespan, physically, psychologically. Yes, so it is a kind of developmental process. Next is, it means you should have a positive adjustment with all kind of challenges or traumas or changes in your life, right? So underline the definition of resilience, second line. Now another term, another important feature of resilience is what? It is also described as the capacity to bounce back in the face of stress and adversity. Bounce back means what? You all play with a ball, yes? So whenever we use the ball, whenever we stuck it on the floor, yes, we throw it on the floor, it comes again back. It comes in the upward direction, it bounces back, right? So we are throwing it on the floor and it is coming upward. It is bouncing back, sometimes on our face also. So this resilience is described as the capacity to bounce back in the face of stress and adversity. Adversity means the negative situations in your life, the adverse conditions. So resilience is teaching you what? See, challenges are there, negative experiences are there, and we become depressed also, we become underconfident also. Yes, all kind of negative emotions are there inside us. But resilience means to put them off, to put them aside, and again rise up with the new energy, with the new zeal. This is known as the capacity to bounce back, again come up, all fresh. So this is also another feature of resilience. Now what else? It has been conceptualized as reflecting feelings of, first is what? Self-worth. You should all aware of your worth. When we talk about self-worth, self-esteem also comes, self-efficacy also comes. We have discussed these terms earlier. I hope you all can understand. So self-regard, self-worth, self-esteem, self-efficacy, all are related. You can use these terms while explaining your answer. So resilience means reflecting feelings of self-worth and self-confidence. These are two main things which are required to be resilient. Another, autonomy and self-reliance. Autonomy means what? Autonomy is a tendency to take decisions on your own. We use this word, it is an autonomous body. This institution or this college is an autonomous body, means that they are allowed, they are eligible to take the decisions on their own. So autonomy means whenever some situations arises, we should be enough capable of taking decisions on our own. Self-reliance, very simple, you rely yourself, you have trust on yourself, right? So these are certain characteristics of resilience. You have to learn this topic as well. Another thing, finding positive role models, seeking a confident cognitive skills such as problem solving, creativity, resourcefulness, and flexibility, and a belief that one's life has purpose and meaning. Lots and lots of things are there. You can remember and you can write them, you can explain them, so you can increase your content. If a 4-mark question is there, or maybe sometimes 6-mark question could also be there, just to describe any real life situation in which you have shown this tendency of resilience. So how you will just increase the, by giving all these characteristics one by one. So what does it saying? That it also consists of cognitive skills. Cognitive skills, the mental processes such as problem solving, how do you solve a problem, creativity, resourcefulness, how much resources you are carrying with you. Resources, we have done the coping resources in the Lazarus model, the personal, the social, the economic, the physical resources, and flexibility. See, flexibility always should be there. If this is not possible at this time, we can switch over to the next option. That is why everyone is advised to have choices, or every student is advised to have keep a second plan also ready. If not first plan succeeded, no problem, we can switch over to the second one. So flexibility should be there in your life, and a belief that one's life has purpose and meaning. If we all believe that yes, we have a purpose in our life is meaningful, that means we all are having resilience. So these all consist the characteristics of resilience, right? Now come upon the second aspect of this term, resilience. It is saying it has recently been defined in terms of 3 resources. We have given the features of this word. Now recently some researches have been done, and those researches are showing that 3 factors or 3 resources are very important in developing or in having this quality, resilience. What is the first resource? It is written in capital letter. You can see I have. This is the first resource. When I say I have, it means what? I will determine or I will observe what all resources or what all things I am having, whether it is related to social, whether it is related to interpersonal strength. It also includes the relationships or the social support or the social network system and interpersonal strength. This comprises of I have. That is people around me I trust and who love me no matter what. This feeling you should have regarding some people in your life, that no matter what I become, no matter what I do, there are people who will support me in every adverse condition. This is interpersonal strength. This feeling gives us strength, yes, that there is someone who is standing behind us or beside us to support us. So this is all about I have. The second resource is what? I am. And in this, inner strength comes. When I talk about myself, I'm talking about my inner strength, my inner capacities, my inner capabilities. So respectful of myself and others. how you'll become strong, how you'll become powerful. When I talk about psychologically, when you start respecting yourself, when you start analyzing your worth, when you start valuing yourself. So this is about I am, the inner strength, right? The third resource is I can. Very easy. We all can make out meaning out of it. I can, what can I do? What I'm capable of doing. So it consists of interpersonal and problem solving skills. Now there are problems, there are challenges which are demanding what? Solutions. So we should have capacity to solve them. So I can consist of all those problem solving skills and interpersonal skills. This consists of I can, how to find ways to solve problems which I am facing. Done, understood all these three resources. Then comes another feature or another thing which will be explained under this term. They have given an example. Children may have plenty of self-esteem. That is I am. You must have observed children, those who are not that much mature, they always say, in our house also, in our home also, we used to see people, we used to see children, ki, I will do this. Please hand over this to me. Please give me the responsibility, I will do it. So these children have lot of self-esteem that I will be able to do this thing. Just give me a chance. Just try me. They used to say this thing. They are not mature. They do not estimate whether they will be able to do it or not. So they have plenty of self-esteem. That is, I am this resource. But may lack anyone whom they can turn to for support. That is, I have. When we talk about I have, it comes, what comes under this? The kind of social network, social support system you have. So that child is too immature, he does not know that whom to consult or whom to face or whom to take advice whenever I'm in some problematic situation. So the child is lacking I have resource, right? Now, and also that child is not having the capacity to solve problems. That is, I can. Try to understand, a child is having one resource, that is, I am, but do not have the other two resources, that is, I have and I can. So that child will not be considered resilient. To be resilient, you have to develop all these three resources. And a very good example they have given, we all have observed people who are very poor and those who belong to socially disadvantaged group. You can give me a lot of examples in our society, in our surroundings, the people who belong to a very socially disadvantaged group of the society, who are very poor, but still they turned out to be a very successful person, a very powerful person, and capable and caring adults. They have become very capable and caring adults. They care for others. They value others. They give love to others. So it is not that if a child or if a person is coming from poor or socially disadvantaged group, he will also do the same things or he will not be able to rise up. No, there are lots and lots of examples in our society. And these people, if are resilient, they may turn into very capable and caring adults, right? So this is very important, resilience and health, because this is a latest research and the latest term which are using quite a lot nowadays. Now comes upon diet, just read it on your own, not very important, very simple, that 3 main meals a day is important. Eat a very well balanced diet. How much nutrition one needs depends on one's activity level, genetic makeup, climate, and health history. This you can write under diet. Do not write very general, right? And you can give the term, just see page number 65, second column, under the heading diet, the second last line, comfort foods. All can see, when we are stressed, we seek comfort foods which are high in fats, salt, and sugar. All must knowing about this. We used to consume this, yes, and these foods are known as comfort foods because these are giving pleasure for the temporary time, for a short period of time. But in the long run, they are very harmful for the health because it contains a lot of salt, sugar, and fats. Fine. Exercise. Let's take the next life skill. Exercise, you can write, a large number of studies confirm a consistently positive relationship between physical fitness and health. Yes, if you are physically fit, you are physically active, that means you are healthy. So there is a positive relationship. Yes. What else we can write? Regular exercise plays an important role in managing weight and stress. See, just remember one thing, whenever you write, try to relate these things with the psychological well-being. Do not write in general exercises may you are start giving the example of aerobic exercises or other exercises. You are start giving Zumba has been introduced. This is not relevant. You have to find a relationship that how exercise is improving your mental health. So try to be focused on that thing. Then comes what? Little some examples you can give. Swimming, jogging, cycling, stretching exercises are there, because the health benefits of exercises is what? That it works as a stress buffer, right? Now comes next one, positive attitude. The next life skill is what? Positive attitude. Positive health and well-being can be realized by having a positive attitude. What are the factors which lead to positive attitude? A sense of purpose in life and responsibility. A purpose, a target should be there in your life. Having a fairly accurate perception of reality. If you are able to perceive the reality, if you are able to have an accurate perception of reality, what does it mean? That when you start analyzing the things practically as it is, you are not imagining something, yes, but you are perceiving the reality, that what the condition will be later on, what consequences it will have on my health. So this is known as fairly accurate perception of reality, right? Another thing you can write, acceptance and tolerance for different viewpoints of others. See, we say sometimes that this girl is very positive, huh? This girl is very patient. We used to use these terms. What does it mean if I say a particular individual is positive? Why he or she is positive? Because everyone, we all give our viewpoints very quickly. We all expresses our feelings very quickly. But the one who is accepting and tolerating the other's point of view also, as I explained you in improved relationship, when you have this characteristic of accepting and tolerating also, sometimes it happens that we do not agree with some of the viewpoints of others. It is very difficult for us to agree with those things, with those points, but still we are tolerating, because there should be equal chance given to everyone to speak and express. अगर एक एक जना बोलेगा, एक एक जना एक्सप्रेस करेगा अपने व्यू पॉइंट्स को, तो दैट पर्सन विल बी कंसिडर्ड डोमिनेंट, and it is not a positive trait, right? So positive attitude में what is the other feature? That try to accept and tolerate other viewpoints of others which are different from yours. and taking credit for success and accepting blame for failure. We all take credit for our success. This is very easy for all of us to do. We all give credit to ourselves very quickly, very fast. That yes, this is possible because of my efforts. I have put lot of efforts. But what about blaming your failure? Whom you going to blame for your failure? And in many situations, the maximum percentage is of ours. The maximum percentage is because of the failure goes to ourselves. We are responsible for our own failures. So these are certain characteristics of positive attitude. You can write all of them. Very new thing also, being open to new ideas and having a sense of humor with the ability to laugh at oneself help us to remain centered and see things in a proper perspective. See, if I say to write very general, you all will be able to write what is positive attitude. You know? But if we have to write something relevant, something meaningful, then these things play a very important role. Now, how can you develop a positive attitude towards life or towards situation? By also developing sense of humor. अगर हंसाना आता है, हंसना आता है अपने पे, तो it is also developing positivity inside yourself. So these all are the things we can write. Positive thinking, it consists of optimism. To have hope regarding anything, to have optimistic outlook. For example, optimists tend to assume that adversity can be handled successfully, whereas pessimists used to think that it cannot be handled and they always anticipate disasters. This is the difference between optimist and pessimist. You can give this example. Pessimists ignore the problem or source of and use strategies such as giving up the goal with which stress is interfering or denying that stress exists. They always ignore, they always avoid the problem, the sources of stress, and many times they give up. They just give the things that they are not able to manage it, and they just leave it in between. Another thing is social support. Now this is quite an important life skill. Social support, just write important on this, because many things you have to explain under this. The first thing, social support is what? It is the existence and availability of people on whom we can rely upon. People who let us know that they care about, value, and love us. Right? So social support means we know that certain people exist and we have the availability of these persons who love us, who like us, who always praise us, and who value us. So we'll start with the definition of this. Now what you're going to write, just see in the same paragraph, 9th line. Perceived support. All can see. Perceived support, what does it mean? The quality of social support is positively related to health and well-being. So this is a term which you're going to explain under social support. What do you mean by perceived support? The quality of social support is positively related to health and well-being. If you are having a proper social support, then it is positively related to your health and well-being. Whereas social network, that is, the quantity of social support is unrelated to well-being. See, two terms are there, perceived support and social network. Perceived support means what is happening? We are having a positive relationship between social support and our health and well-being. Whereas what is happening in social network, because it consists of the quantity of people, so it is unrelated to well-being and health. There is a negative relationship. Now, what is the difference? Perceived support to kya ho gaya? The quality of social support, and social network, the quantity. It happens with us if we are having too long list of friends, and we are not able to maintain the relationship with all of them. So what it will cause a lot of anxiety and stress, that how to deal with so many people, how to talk to them, how to revert back to them, how to respond them, and how to make them happy altogether. So quantity is making you somewhere very anxious and stressful. So there is a negative relationship between this and your health and well-being. Okay, we are just ending this lecture today. I'll do